Knicks and Bruises, we are back. Shout out to the chat. Yo, Black is time. I got my guy DJ Shuttle in the building. Y'all already know.
All aboard. We here.
Yes, sir. Fresh off game 2 of the preseason. 2-0 Knicks. 117-94. We beat the Washington Wizards as expected. Um, but
They look
this
like
was a
they
good
look like
one.
they look like the Washington Generals. But sorry.
Nah, I feel they did look bad. They did look bad. I'm looking forward to the next game when we could have a real test. We get to see DiVincenzo. We get to see maybe Randall. You know what I mean? And Edwards in the squad. I think that's going to be a real competitive one. So I'm looking forward to that one. But I want to break this one down because there was some good things that came out of this one. Cat had a great performance, 25 points, 12 rebounds. Didn't
Great,
shoot.
great. You think?
I mean, it was a great step in the right direction because he didn't shoot the ball well.
No, that's why I'm kind of reserving on the great.
But you know what I mean? Stat wise, if you didn't see the game and you just looked at the numbers, 25 points, 28 minutes, you know what I mean, 12 rebounds. That third quarter though, which we're gonna break down as well,
Oh
it
yeah,
it, it looked a little bit different. That was a great quarter.
that was a great quarter. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But yeah, man, let's break it down. We're gonna talk about individual players like we did last game. But for real, I was super excited to see Cat kind of string it together at in the third quarter. Let's start there, I guess, because that's what we waiting for. Um,
This
we
is
saw
this
that.
is this is what we're here for. This season, Cat is what we're here for. So you know, it's hard to really start any place else. I mean, because Brunson, we already know what Brunson is. Bridges, while he's going to be formidable, he's not going to be, you know, listen, we traded a 3-time All-Star, All-Pro player for this guy. So it's different than what we gave up for Bridges. So, you gotta make people forget that Randall and DiVincenzo are no longer here. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, and he's doing it. He's doing it. That pick and roll. I mean,
Now it's looking low key. It's looking low key deli. Like when I would watch Jamal Murray and Joker, I'll be like, damn, yo, how are you gonna stop that? Like, what are you gonna really do? And you see Murray just get so many easy baskets, open jumpers, just penetrating to the lane because nobody's really guarding him. They're so worried about Joker. I'm like, damn, man, like that must be nice. You know what I'm saying? That must be really, really nice. And I mean, arguably, we're going into the season like this could be the best little man, big man, guard, center combination in the entire league. That's what it's looking like to me.
yeah, I mean, like you said, how do you stop? How do you stop it? How do you guard it? And just think that's just scratching the surface of it. You know what I mean? This is just the third quarter that we see. This ain't a full game. You know what I mean? This is
Yo,
not them at full strength with full chemistry.
two
Um,
preseason games. And they just traded for him. Like this is no off season. This is no real off season getting together playing. Yo, that's why I'm just like yo. I'm watching it last night. I'm like yo, this is scary. This is like yo, it's like you got something that's like a secret, and you don't even want to tell nobody, or you got the winning lotto ticket. Like yo, you ready to cash it in? Yo, that's how I'm low key feeling about it, man.
yeah.
And it's not only because of the success that the two of them can have, but yo, OG go in the corner, Bridges get on the wing, Hard get on the post for offensive boards. Like yo, it's a more well balanced attack. And but yeah, man, I know we kind of all over the place. So you want to get
Hey,
to
now, I mean, you can rant because I feel like I'm gonna be ranting too. But like you said, the wings on in the corners, you know what I mean, especially OG where he thrives, you know, one of the best corner 3-point shooters in the league, if not the best. It's really gonna be, that pick and roll, pick and pop, pick your poison. You know what I mean? Like how you want to take this medicine, because you're
Yo,
gonna get it either way.
you definitely gonna get the word, and then once you start getting into a groove, you see Towns is showing that he's a decent passer, and I think that's something that many Knicks fans weren't really expecting. That maybe it's not as good as iHeart was, but it's certainly way better than Mitch, respectfully. So you combine that with the fact how now you see Brunson has these little herky jerky, you know, lull you to sleep and then penetrate to the hoop moves. And when you got a guy like Towns that you got to account for so much, it just like this is actually going to make Brunson's job so much easier. Like I can now see him maybe hitting 8 assists a game this year.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely gonna go up. Brunson had 23 points in 23 minutes, 7 for 10 from the field. Man only took 10 shots last night. You know what I mean? Like, and super efficient. I think that's gonna be the biggest change for us, the efficiency. Last year we didn't really shoot the ball efficient, hence why the offensive rebounds was so vital to our success. Um, I don't know if it's gonna be the same, for the simple fact I think we're gonna shoot the ball a whole lot better. Granted, we haven't seen that yet. As a team, we haven't shot the ball well yet in these first two games, and but the looks that we're getting are totally different. You know what I mean? So I think as everybody gets a little bit more comfortable, work their way back into game shape, yeah, these shots are going to be dropping, and I'm referring mostly to the supporting cast. Jalen's been fine, and he's going to be fine, but yeah, Cat, we have yet to see an efficient game from him. What was he, 7 for 20? That's got to be like 35%.
7 for 20. Yep, that would be 35%.
So you know what I mean. Let's see him get into the high 40s, 50s. You know what I mean, plus.
But what I like though is that he got 11 foul shots, which means that he's going to the hoop, he's under the hoop, he's under the rim, more likely than not on most of those shots. So, and he's a career 84%, 83%, 83, 84% foul shooter. So, you're going to get to the line. You can get to the line 10 times a game. I mean, that's legendary. So, you know, uh, I mean, listen, I don't know what to say, man. Like, I'm inspired. I'm excited, and I'm trying to temper it all because it's the Wizards and it's the Hornets. But I just think that seeing what they're capable of doing is a great sign.
Yeah, and to your point, he is playing inside and outside, and we're really gonna need that from him, because I think he was 1 for 5 from three in the first game, 1 for 7 in this game, in this last game. So you take them 3 pointers away, you're looking at 7 for 13.
Right.
You know what I mean, from two, and 10 of 11 from the free throw line. So yeah, once the three gets up to what he's used to at 40%, that's going to be a different difference maker. Um, 7 3 pointers this game. I think he shot 10 in the first one.
Sounds right.
Um, what's your thoughts on that part? We know he's a great 3-point shooter. Obviously, it hasn't been falling yet. Do you think he needs to take upwards of 8 to 10 a game? Um, or let me rephrase it. How many threes per game do you think is too much for him individually? Because I think the Knicks they're gonna be up there, 46 threes or so. I know it was 48 the last game. Let me see if I could figure out what it was this game.
What's that?
No, I'm trying to figure out how many threes They took 39 threes this last game. So
Okay.
that's about 10 less than the first. I think they're gonna be 40 plus threes a game
Yeah,
as a team.
I think they'll be one of the top 3-point shooting attempts teams in the league. You know, when you have a center that shoots as many as most shooting guards, you know, then it is what it is. I I'm not really worried about how much threes he takes per se. I haven't really even thought about a number, but what I will say, what is to me is the most important thing that he brings, or that when we're looking at the amount of threes, right? It's like, well, he shot 7 threes, but he shot 13 twos. He got to the line 8 times. So it's kind of, where does it fit as a ratio balance to
Mm-hmm.
everything else across the board? You know, how many shots did you get in the paint? Like to me, this should be at least an equal amount of shots in the paint as they are to 3-point shots. Yo, you shoot you shoot 8 from 3. All right, well then we should have 8 from in the paint, you know, or maybe the baseline right outside the paint, you know, on the baseline. So, you know, yeah, I mean, if he's getting 18, 20 shots a game and it's, you
10
know,
and 10.
10 and 10, 8 and 8, 9 and 9, I'm okay with that, especially if he's also getting to the line and shooting 84% from the foul line, you
Yeah.
know, at 7, 8 shots a game from the line. So I know that number's a little bit high, but you know, I think on this team with the other weapons, it's probably, you know, not unreasonable.
That's what I'm gonna have to keep my focus on when I'm analyzing the games. How many twos he took compared to how many threes. Because one of my worries is him getting 3-point happy. But I guess if I go back and reference, let's say he didn't shoot the ball well, but he shot 9 threes. I guess if he shot nine or more twos as well, that'll tamper my anger, if you understand what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I just got to keep that in mind when he happens to have a bad 3-point shooting night, and so I don't kill him. But that's one of the worries that I felt early on. Like, is he gonna be 3-point happy? Because we need not we need both sides. We need that inside presence, because that's one of the things that we're missing. You know what I mean, with Randall's departure, and nobody else really has a inside presence, post presence. So he's gonna have to utilize. I think they're both equally as important. And to your point about him shooting the threes in general, whether he misses or makes, it's gonna have the paint open. So it's gonna have us in position to get offensive rebounds, because the big, assuming, is gonna be out there defending that 3-point shot, make or miss. So as long as we're crashing the boards on those opportunities, we can make up for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, he's one guy, but OG was 0 for 4. Bridges was 1 for 4, you know. So Shamit was 1 for 7. Kolik was 1 for 4.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's a collective, it's a collective effort. But one thing that I don't want to do is, I don't want to bring a guy in here that has a better 3-point shooting field goal percentage than anybody else on the rest of this team, and tell him because he's a certain height that he has to not do what he's better at than anybody else on the team.
Fair.
Because if he was 6'8", 6'7", 6'6", and had a bad shooting night, but he was a 41% shooter, you wouldn't be saying, "Oh, he needs to shoot less threes."
That's a good point.
One other thing that I came to find out in the post game interviews with Bridges was that he did quite a bit of posting up when he was with Phoenix. Did you see that interview?
I didn't. I actually So go ahead and enlighten me. I was nodding because I recall him doing that in Phoenix, but go ahead.
So the story was that, you know, with the Phoenix team, much like will happen with Brunson is that they'll want to put a bigger guard to defend Brunson to try to stop him. Thus, you want to put someone else on Bridges that might be the point guard now. And that ended that as a result, gave him some advantages that he could take, he could exploit. And so he was saying like, yeah, well, we just let, kind of like what Tim says, right? He was like, we let the game dictate and tell us what to do. So the game said, and so the reporter was just saying how, yeah, like he actually took a look at it. He looked at the percentages. He said, well, you were doing really great. How'd you analyze that? He's like, no, I didn't. I just let the game dictate when and where we did it. But it's like, it seemed like he was like, maybe I didn't take a look more at that. You know what I mean? And I'm hoping, the team sees it. And this goes back to my whole entire point of why I don't want to start Hart, because starting a bigger player like Precious makes it where the defenders on the other team, like putting OG at the 4, or like now, like the
More
height,
mismatches.
yeah, the height advantage that we have with Precious in the starting lineup gives us more of an advantage with OG or Bridges potentially, if they have one of their wings try to defend against Brunson. Now you could just have the point guard go against Josh Hart, who doesn't post up and is not really a quote unquote offensive threat per se. So, again, back to my argument, start Precious. But
I mean,
it looks like that's not going to happen.
yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen either. I see your point. And like I said before, I was in favor of Deuce starting. But I will say this: I like what I see from Josh Hart in the starter unit. Pushing the ball off the rebound. Um, like when we're in transition, Josh Hart is great. You know what I mean? To your point, I worry in the half court set. But I think the advantage that we have, especially with these two wings in Mikal and OG, is we're getting a lot of stops, we're getting a lot of steals. You know what I mean? So we're in transition. It feels like more than we're not. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, Josh Hart, man, he's getting the rebounds. He's outlet back passing. This is back-to-back games now, so it looks like we're gonna see one or two of those per game where he's looking ahead, outletting from a rebound. And you know what he does if he don't get the outlet pass, he'll a one-man fast break by himself. So, just putting pressure on the rim. But yeah, let's go back to these wings, man. I thought last night defensively we started to see what we're going to be looking forward to. You know what I mean? These guys was swarming at the wings, playing the passing lanes. I thought the defense was great. Granted, not a great team. You know what I mean? So you got to take everything with a grain of salt.
Hey,
But what you think about the defense last night?
you got to be great. You got to be great even against the teams that's not great, or I should say, especially against the teams that are not great. So, Bridges 3 steals, OG 2 steals. Um, you know, they did get beat backdoor a couple of times, especially OG. I think at least like twice. So I can't say I'll give them an A, but I give them a strong B for sure. And I think the team got up. Just the Wizards, they probably weren't like playing their hardest, but there were definitely times when they were kind of in lockdown mode, especially on the open floor. OG got the rip from Saw. That guy Alex Saw though, he's gonna be a problem. That guy's gonna be a problem. But sidebar, but yeah, on the wings, they did what I expected them to do. You know, this is why they the wing stop. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be great seeing you have a 1-2 punch like Townsend Brunson, and then a 1-2 defensive punch like OG and Bridges, and you got Hart just cleaning up all the mess in between.
Yeah, for sure. OG, we haven't seen much from him offensively. any concerns about him finding his way, or do you think he's content with whatever comes his way as long as we keep getting W's?
I don't think it's an issue with OG because I mean, realistically, on the pecking order, he's number four. So I mean, number four. I mean, he's for. I mean, for to be the number four, to be the number four. What do you call threat? Number four option. On a team, I think he's a great number four option on offense. You know, and I think that the more the games intensify, the more real the games get, the more teams will put a stronger effort to stop Brunson, to stop Towns, and that's what makes Boston the team that they are. That after you do your best against Brown and Tatum, by the time you get to Derek White, it just becomes like a dagger in your heart when he hits that three on you, because it's like, man, we did what we did it right. We did it right with Tatum. We did it right for Brown. We made him do a third and a fourth pass, and then
Yep.
it got to OG in the corner, and he hit that open three. And that's what's gonna take. I mean, some games he's gonna score 16, 17, 18 points. Some games he's gonna score 8, 9, 10 points maybe. And hopefully he plays great D no matter what, whether it's the 8 points or the 18 points. And that's what we really need from OG, is to be, somebody that crashes the boards and plays that real strong, solid defense more than anything.
The reason I think he'll be fine is right now it seems like it's really just rhythm because he's missing the open shots. But what I like is the few points that he's gotten in these first two games came on moves, him being aggressive. You know what I mean? Him stepping into a mid range and,
Right.
and things of that nature. So if he's gonna make those, I'm pretty confident. As the season goes along, or as the real season starts, those open ones that he's seemingly missing right now, he'll start making those and finding his rhythm. But yeah, I am encouraged in the fact that it seems like the few baskets he's made so far in these first two games, those were off of aggressive moves that he created, not necessarily off of a Brunson collapse or you know what I mean. Like he missed, like I said, those two easy ones though from in the first game where Cat gave him the pass cut into the basket. You know what I mean? Those should have been dunks. But yeah, I think over time his rhythm, he'll get all that together.
Yeah, I'm not worried about OG. What I would love to see though, as we talked about the the post up play down low, it would be great to see OG identified as a potential low post option. And again, like I said, I just think it's one of those things where you if we have, depending on the personnel and who's matching up, against Brunson from the opposition, that could lead to Bridges and or OG with post up opportunities depending on who's guarding them. So, I just think that we just need well-rounded players, just like a Brunson, right? He's a point guard. He's 6'2", 6'1", but he's able to post up down low. He has post up moves, the head fakes, the footwork, the up and unders. Those are things that hopefully the coaching staff can work on with both Bridges and OG, so that they're prepared to post up as the defense dictates for them to be able to do that.
Yeah, and we got to identify the switches. You know what I mean? Identify the mismatches. But yeah, I think that's we we love what we saw with the pick and roll. I think once that becomes a staple, which I mean, we ran that play 3 times in a row, and 4 out of 5 times in 5 possessions. And the one time that we didn't run it, it was it was Cat at the top of the key and passing it to Brunson, cutting. I think Brunson, and he missed the layup but got fouled. You know what I mean? So just that little 2 minute stint, 3 minute stint man, once we start doing that constantly and consistently, that's gonna open everything up for everybody. You know what I mean? Because they're gonna have to figure out, all right, are we trying to stop Brunson at the rim? Are we stopping Cat at the rim? Are we stopping Cat at the post? And eventually, Mikhail's guy is gonna be helping. OG's guy is gonna be helping, and yeah, it's just gonna open up so much. Um, anything else about the starters? Josh Hart, he's gonna have games where he don't take no shots and still be effective.
Those might be his best games. You know, no 0 for 1 from the fields, 12 rebounds, 4 assists. I'll take it.
For sure. I'm excited. I want to transition into the second unit, man. The bench minutes. Campaign continues to show, like, number one, Thibodeau's going to him as the backup point guard, but you can't be mad at his minutes. Like, he's coming in. I mean, he was on fire from three. Last game, what, 4 for 6 from three. It felt like he didn't miss. 4 assists. I like what I'm seeing from Cam. I wasn't high on campaign. I'll be honest. I understand the veteran presence. I understand the experience, but watching him more and more, I'm loving it. But at the same time, Tyler's over here coming in his minutes, and he's right there. He's right there. Like, without the veteran presence, you know what I mean? Without the experience, obviously he's the older rookie, but man, I'm enjoying those two guys. You know, just playing out there. It don't even seem like they competing against each other. You know what I mean? One is fighting for they just coming in and doing what they supposed to do in the minutes they get, and I'm loving, man. I just want to continue watching these two, and see how it plays out. But I can't front as much as I want Tyler to get that spot. Cam is out there doing what he's supposed to. What's your thoughts? So I know you high on Cam,
well, you know,
and Kolick, but you know what I mean?
I'm high on Tyler for sure. You know, pre-draft, but I gotta make sure I keep reinforcing that for the viewers that want to come for you sometime in the comments. You know what I mean? But you know, Cam is he's making it hard, and like I said when we spoke last time, like it's a great situation to have 4 quality guards on your bench, making it tough to decide who is going to get the playing time because everybody can. And it just you know, it's nice to have, you know, a little extra, you know, in the tank. And this is what made it a little easier to deal quickly last year because the team had faith in Deuce. And, you know, listen, I just got to put it out there because I just got to do it. Somebody got to do it. This is what's making it easy to trade Deuce right now. And before I heard that Deuce was out with some type of cold or something like that, I was like, oh, let me find out. Let me find out. They trying to see what they got with the rest of the guys without Deuce, just so they can see the, you know, what it's like if and when we trade Deuce. And I'm like, all right, the Knicks, they just brought in this new big man, Moses. I'm like, all right, you know, maybe something's brewing to do Deuce and Sims or Deuce and Mitch to get another player in here, and to get somebody else that could be a more formidable big man, maybe like, you know, maybe a power forward.
Yeah. Speaking of Moses, shout out to oh man, I can't remember his name, but the Bleacher Report chat. It was a guy who he just reposted it, but it was like 11 weeks ago. He was like, "Oh, we should go after Moses Brown." That's his name, Moses Brown.
Yep.
But yeah, like we should go take a flyer on him. So he was high on him 11 months ago. I mean, excuse me, 11 weeks ago. You know what I mean? Before Cat, before all these moves. Yeah, he definitely brought it back up later. Like, yeah, I told you.
And just to for the people that aren't aware, we're kind of speaking about Moses Brown like everybody knows who he is. Moses Brown just recently acquired by the New York Knicks yesterday. 7'2" center. He's bounced around to a couple of teams. 25 years young. I'm not sure if I said the height, but 7'2", shot blocker, average defender, maybe a little below average on offense. I guess you could think he's maybe a combination of Mitch and Jericho, just to kind of, you know, for a Nick parallel or a Nick
Comparison.
comparison. Yeah, he's probably, a little bit of Mitch on defense and more Sims on defense too, as well as a little bit of Mitch on offense, meaning you can't really expect him to make much of a move or a shot on his own. But he's 7'2" though, and he does show some activity around the hoop on both sides of the ball, and it's cool. But I ain't gonna hold you. You see my boy out there, Hukporti.
We about to talk about him in 2 minutes. In two
My boy
minutes,
out there.
I want to I want to throw Cam's stat line out there. 23 minutes, 14 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and a +2. And then Kolik, he had 17 minutes, 15 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, a turnover. He was a +4. Um, so yeah, shout out to our backup point guards doing a thing. I wanted to highlight 2 comments real quick. I am Jarrell. Salute. Giants got that win. Salute to the Giants. The Mets, you know what I mean? Advance. Shout out to them. Um, he said watching OG is nerve wracking. Every time he makes a play, I think he's gonna get injured. He runs like his feet hurt. Um, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I'd be nervous too. It's very, very similar to my guy Mitchell Robinson. Every time he out there, you know what I mean, bump, falls, whatever. I feel like it's a wrap for him. Um, so yeah, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you on that. Speaking of Mitchell Robinson, now they saying he is definitely out until the new year. So and there's no December now. It's January, the earliest. I don't know what the details are as far as like
I'm
that.
thinking. I'm thinking he won't play this season.
And yeah, that's the what Knicks and Bruises injury report update. What? uh, hopefully, hopefully it is January, and hopefully you're wrong, Shuttle, on that. Who
And
else?
hopefully you're wrong. That was slick. That was slick, Tom. That was slick. That's the you slid that right in there. Hopefully you're wrong. You know what I mean? But
I
nah,
mean,
Tom, listen, it is what it is. What are we
I
gonna
mean, I
do?
mean we gotta talk. We gotta talk about Hukporti in a second. So we'll transition that. Oh, Brooklyn Knicks fan, he said Big Bodega sounds better than Bodega Cat. Sounds like a bum name. Um, I mean, you rock with what you want to rock with. I like Bodega Cat, and it's making its rounds. I've just seen ESPN's use the Bodega Cat. You know what I mean, and a couple of other Nick platforms. You know, throwing Bodega Cat out there. So, I mean, it's picking up. It's picking up a little bit of steam. I'm gonna do a poll a little later. See which one people rocking with. But I'm going with Bodega Cat right now. If we got to transition, we will. Appreciate you, though. Hukporti, go ahead. I'm gonna let you take the floor. I'll chime in. But I was definitely impressed, especially defensively.
Yo, this guy is he's athletic. He's not like uber athletic, but he's athletic. Um, and I feel like he is like, yo, you bring him now to Tibbs training, you take this raw, hardworking, aggressive, athletic, player, and you give him Tibbs training, Tibbs scouting, Tibbs study habits, Tibbs practices, I just think that him being on this team, and like it's like he's gonna be somebody like where we look at Sims and so many people are like, yo, Sims is like he's in la la land, like he doesn't know where he is or what he's doing. Like it doesn't even seem like Sims fits the standard of a guy that plays under Tibbs, that has played under Tibbs this long. He's played too long to still play this way, to be playing with Tibbs. You gotta go. You gotta go.
That was I seen that comment in Bleacher Report at least 15 to 20 times.
What's that?
Hukporti, over Sims. Like everybody was saying it. I liked what I saw from him defensively, the way he was able to switch, the way he was able to defend on the perimeter. And then he got a little nastiness to him down low. So yeah, man. Let me see. Let me pull up. Let's see what he did in his limited minutes. And chat, let me know if y'all rocking with the incredible Hulk. Cause that's what I'm hearing right now for his nickname.
The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. I don't know. I like it though. I ain't gonna lie. 16 minutes, he had 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3 or 4 from the field, 3 steals.
Sorry about that.
No problem. 3 steals and a turnover. But he was active. And yeah, I like what we saw from him. I could see him passing Sims very shortly. Very, very like by the end of these last 3 games, if he continues to get the opportunity, I could definitely see him earning his spot.
He just passed him yesterday. Okay, you heard it here first. Hukporti has leapfrogged Sims on the depth chart. Okay, it just happened last night. It's done. It's a done deal. And if it wasn't done based short on ability or quote unquote earning it, Sims had an ankle injury that he had to leave the game with, and who knows? You know, that's one thing we know. Sometimes Sims he gets hurt and he's out for a little bit. So that's it. You know, if you're not there, and that just to double back, that is probably the I guess the concession that I can make to starting Hart is that you have to start Precious or you have to play Precious as the backup center. So you don't want to start him even if you think he's a better fit. You need a backup center, and because Sims is not what many of you wanted him to be, and Hukporti's a rookie, and until he proves it, he's not ready to be locked in as the backup center yet. So Battle Cat. Oh man, I was calling him the Big DR to represent for Dominican Republic. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But yeah, these are all cool names. You gotta, you be like Method Man. You got like, Takalian, Stallion, Takal, Johnny Blaze. You had a handful of names. So depending on where you at, which day, what you do will determine which name we go with.
I heard Jarrell say got Sims out of here in 16 minutes.
Sims has been he's been kicked down on the chart, and to be really quite honest with you, I don't know if he's eligible to go to the G League still, but if he's not, his salary is only $2 million. He might be, if he can't be put in a deal, he might be somebody that just becomes a buyout.
Yeah. Well, I did research, and there's no age limit on the G League. So, yeah, you could play there or be sent there at, any stature of your You know what I mean? However long you've been in the league or whatever the case.
Yeah,
So
I just wasn't sure if there was any like type of contract stipulations that make it, it's like, all right, well, I've got so many years, I don't go to the G League, that kind of thing, but yeah, man, either go down there and get the work or take this buyout.
I don't even know if the buyout's worth it. I think they would just sit them and see if they could include them in a late season mid season trade. Because at worst, what I mean, is better to have the body on the team as a break in case of emergency, knowing what I mean, what we went through last year. We needed all the bodies we could have.
Right.
So I wouldn't make them expendable unless we needed that $1 million we saved to bring somebody else in or whatever the case. But yeah, we got no problem sitting guys and and letting them watch.
Wow, Queen, I know you on vacay. I know it's the replay gang, but if I'm not mistaken, I think the words was something along the lines of, if Hukporti is playing, we're in trouble, something along those lines, to paraphrase. I think that's what the Queen was telling me, but I don't know. The way he played last night, you know what I mean? Let's go. Let's get it rocking.
Oh, who was it? Brooklyn Knicks fan said Big Poppy is cool. I don't know, man. I can't be calling nobody Big Poppy.
Yeah. We're gonna pass on that one. Bodega Cat. Bodega Cat. And what was the other one?
Battle Cat,
Nah, not
the
Battle
big
Cat.
the big bodega.
I ain't gonna hold you. The big bodega got a ring to it.
It does sound better.
It got a little bit. I mean, it got a little
The
bit more of a ring
the
than Bodega Cat.
the only reason I was rocking with Bodega Cat is, growing up in the city. That's, what I mean, that's a staple of New York City. The cat in the bodega. So
Oh,
that was my
like
that was
that's like a double entendre right there.
that was that was my.
Oh, that's bars right there. That's bars right there. I missed that one.
There you go. Somebody said Thundercat. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm not putting what Craig said, but that's funny.
Oh man.
But yeah. Let's see who else anybody else stood out to you? I mean, to me in that second unit, being I was already so high on Kolek, and I know what campaign could do. Hukporti was probably the biggest standout. It was nice to see TJ Warren get some minutes. It was only 4 minutes. He had 4 points though. It was 1-1, 2-2 from the free throw line.
Yo,
Um,
Tony, I know it's your show, but can I call you out?
absolutely.
You just said minutes ago you wasn't high on campaign, but now you just said you know what you can do. So you got to clarify this for the people.
I know what he could do because number one, I've seen what he did against us in the playoffs. I've seen what he did in Phoenix when because I was watching Phoenix that particular year, when they made the finals. I've done my research on him. You know what I mean? So I know who he is. I know his story. I love his story. Like, to me, that's something that makes me know that he's always going to be playing with a chip on his shoulder, or playing knowing that tomorrow's not promised. You know what I mean? When you out the league, it's hard to find your way back in the league. You know what I mean? And we know that from all types of levels of players to the Carmelos, and you know what I mean? Like, whoever. Once you're out of the league, it's very hard to get back in. So the fact that he was out and got back in, I know he's not taking anything for granted. So I know what he's capable of. I know his mindset. You know what I mean? I just never was the biggest fan of his. And again, I keep saying it. It's probably just his shot. the optics of his shot, like I gotta get over that. But again, when you shooting 4 for 6, like the shot don't look that bad.
Hey, it look good. It look good going through the net.
It definitely, you know what I mean. It definitely looks better when it goes in. So that's my stance with him. It's never it's probably just a shot more than anything. I like his shiftiness. I like things about his game. So
Right.
I know what he's capable of. I just you know what I mean. I was more a fan of him in Phoenix. Like even with the you know what I mean, the dances, getting the team hype. And again, you need that kind of energy on your team. So I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at the acquisition. I love the fact that he's playing well. You know what I mean? Because as much as I like Kolek, I don't want anything to be given to him. You know what I mean? So if he gets a spot, if he gets time, it's because he earned it, and I respect that. And if he can't beat out Cam, that means Cam is playing well. So I'm with that too. You know what I mean? So that's the best I could clarify. You know what I mean? But I listen. He's a dog. You know what I
Nah,
mean? And I respect the hell out of his story because a lot of people can't make it back into the league once they out.
nah.
So I
Especially
know he gonna bring it every day.
especially those lottery picks. Especially those lottery picks. You know,
Yeah,
that ego crush is a lot to recover from, and you know, that's one thing that speaks to the players that are on this team that management has been bringing in the past couple of years. Nothing but quality guys. Nothing but quality guys over the last 3-4 years. These guys have been bringing in. No head cases, no basket cases, none of them guys that nobody else wants. And you know, you're trying to have some reclamation project, you know, is not, you know, is not the drug addicts, not the domestic violence cases, not the guys that get 20 technical fouls a season, like just good solid guys, you know. And I think he fits in whether he plays or Kolek ends up getting the minutes and he's kind of just on standby. I think he'll be good for the locker room either way. And a guy like Kolek, new to the league, can learn from him.
yeah, for sure.
That's probably why they're playing well together, and it's not that type of, you know, fisticuff
Mm-hmm.
competitive energy on the court when they're playing together. And it's kind of like, well, we're both pulling for each other. You're a rookie trying to prove yourself. I'm a vet trying to prove myself. Listen, let's just go out there and do the best we can do.
And honestly, that makes me like Cam even more. You like watching his demeanor out there, watching him cheer on Kolek when he hit a basket. You know what I mean? And kind of push him with positivity. I mean, again, like you said, you need those type of guys in the locker room, even when they're not a part of the rotation. And I'm speaking about like guys in the past who we had.
Oh man,
You know who I'm talking about.
boy from Duke.
Yeah, yep, yep.
I ain't want to say his name.
But yeah, you need guys that could be cheerleaders when they're not playing. You know what I mean? And kind of bring that demeanor to the roster.
Yeah, nah, it's definitely infectious.
Um,
So,
Okiki got a couple of minutes.
right. So
I was high on him when we signed him. It's not looking like he gonna make the team.
nah, but it's looking like who is gonna make the team, but getting no minutes is Pacone.
They said well he a first round pick, so he locked in. They said we were supposed to see him last night, but he tweaked something. So pardon me, that might have been the reason we saw Warren because he wasn't available. But the plan was to play him yesterday. So because they said that when they gave out the news with Deuce being sick or whatever.
They said yesterday, Daddy has a sprained finger.
That's right, finger. So we should see him. You know, if I mean if that doesn't keep him out, we should see him next game. But at the same time, I think next game, if there's any game that the Knicks want to win in the preseason, it's gonna be next game. Um, let's talk about that real quick, and then we could get out of here. Um, number one, you think Randall plays?
If he's not injured, sure. You got a new team. You gotta play. You gotta play. You gotta get continuity with with Rudy, with Ant, with the rest of the team. I
That's
mean,
at the Garden, right?
that's out the Garden.
Um,
I don't know. I think I might be free Sunday. I may need to go to this.
yeah, I wish I could. I gotta sneak and watch it at work. Oh, but I'm gonna make sure I see at least the first half.
So here's the update. Randall's not ready to make his debut against the team that drafted him. Uh, Unsurprising as the big man is expected to be limited through the preseason as he recovers from shoulder injury. So that was 2 days ago when he was supposed to play against the Lakers.
Um, do you think the Knicks do a tribute for those guys now in the preseason, or wait till they come to the Garden for a regular season game?
I think that's a regular season game. That would be kind of bush league to do it in preseason. That'd be kind of bush league. I mean, hopefully the Knicks got more class than to do that. I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. I
That
hope
was,
so too. Get the full fan experience. You know what I mean? The full fan interaction, because those games don't be the preseason don't be sold out like the regular season.
yeah, it just won't just won't have the same level of excitement. The stars won't be out. When it's a regular season game, you're gonna get Spike Lee and Denzel and Fat Joe. When Randall comes back to the Garden in the regular season, and he's in the West, so it's only gonna be this is gonna be the one and only time
Yeah, well, that's
he's
right.
gonna come.
Make it, yeah.
Listen, the real sports fans, the real Knicks fans that are also entertainers, like the Fat Joes, the Denzels, the Spike Lees, the Tracy Morgans, like those guys are all coming to that game.
What's your expectations for this game Sunday?
Well, I'm gonna go with Randall still recovering and being that he sat out. Um, being that he sat out the most recent game. Okay, let's see. Yeah, being that he's had the most recent game, then I'm going to expect that he's probably going to sit out. Um, that he's probably going to sit out. So with him sitting out, I'm expecting the Knicks to do their thing. I don't think they have anybody that can stop Brunson. You know, they're going to be familiar with Cat. They're going to know what he likes to do. Rudy Gobert is going to have to get away from the basket. They might start Nas Reed at power forward. I think that's what they did, in Randall. Maybe they put Nas Reed on him, but that'll be awkward. So, that's the thing with that whole Twin Towers offense. So, or that Twin Towers starting lineup for the Timberwolves. Because if you put Nas Reed on Towns, which is really a better match, then what are you gonna do with Rudy Gobert? Put him
Exactly.
Put him on Josh Hart? Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
I mean, you're right. I mean, that's probably what they would do. I was thinking OG, but that's advantage us. I could see them putting him on Josh Hart and him, still playing off of Hart. You know what I mean? Daring him to kind of make perimeter shots, and he could still maintain his eye on the rim. And so that's probably what they do. Do you think Cat has an efficient game, his first efficient game? Or do you think that because they're familiar with him, it may be a little difficult?
I'm sure he went against Nas Reed plenty of time in practice with Nas being the leader of the second unit,
Mm-hmm.
playing the same position essentially. So yeah, I mean, I look at this as one of those. You get a bucket, I'm gonna get a bucket. You get another bucket, I'm gonna get a bucket. I see it being one of those, especially in preseason. You know, I see guys like Bridges and Brunson feeding Cat to score, and and to you know, get a little feel good, going against your old team. So I don't see why they wouldn't do something like that.
How about DiVincenzo? You think he goes off?
Now, I think they're gonna definitely do what they can to stop him. Between Bridges and you know, and a little bit of OG. Quiet
And
as
Hart. And Hart.
oh, and Hart. Like this, like, yo, we'll let somebody else score, but we're not gonna let you score. You know what I mean? Like he can score, but you can't. That kind of thing. But yo, did you hear anything? Or do you know if there's any truth to the story of OG willing to give the Knicks a better deal, but then when they were going after Bridges, it was the whole you know, Villanova boys, that whole storyline. Then he
I
kind of, he
I
kind
don't
of,
see I don't see how that's true because um we signed OG before the Bridges trade. And I remember thinking, had we did the Bridges trade first, um wondering if it, because I thought he had all the leverage, OG.
right,
You know what I mean? So I remember saying, if Philadelphia would have signed Paul George first, maybe he wouldn't have had as much leverage. You know what I mean? Because Philly was a threat to,
to
you know
get
what I mean,
over,
steal OG from us.
right,
I also remember, so I don't think that timeline makes sense. I did see that report or whatever, or post, but I don't see how that makes sense because we signed OG first, and I think we had to give him what he wanted because there was at least two other teams that had the cap space to give him the same max deal. You know what I mean? Um, I would think it would be in reverse though. Um, if we made the trade for Bridges, I think that could have given us a little bit more leverage. You know what I'm saying? Because we have a guy here. Not saying we don't want you, but now you know what I mean. It's like we're not as desperate to, you know what I mean. Like we could negotiate a little bit. So that from a Knicks perspective, I think that would make more sense if they had Mikal under wraps. Then maybe they could have negotiated with OG, but they had no. They were playing from a place of weakness. You know what I mean? They were negotiating with a place of weakness because yeah, you don't want to lose them for nothing. You already gave up guys to get them, and Philly had money, and I forgot who the other team was that had the money to sign them. So I don't know if that's true, just because we already signed them before the McHale. Now, if for it to be true, he would have had to known the McHale thing was in the works,
right.
and I don't know that. I don't know that the organization is that forthcoming, especially when it has nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I don't.
they probably didn't run the trade by OG.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Now. I mean, I can see them saying, "Hey, we're working on this trade because of the pairing, and use that as a hey." You know what I mean? Like you two guys on the wings, like imagine what we could. You know what I mean? I could see them doing it that way, but to run it by him as a are you okay with this? No, see it. I could see them saying it to entice him, but not as a negotiating tool. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
Nah, you get reports out there, man. You know, a lot of talk. But anyway, listen, whatever the number, we re-signed them. The wing stop is in effect. We got Bridges, we got OG, we got Towns looking great in that pick and roll, the pick and pop, the pick and go. You know,
Pick your poison.
we got we said we got the pick and pop, the pick and roll, and we got one that I came up with we called the pick and go, where you said the pick, act like you're doing this, and then you go like that. You know what I mean? That's the Brunson okey doke move. That's the pick and go. You heard?
He caught somebody with that J yesterday.
That's the pick and go. That's what we call that.
No doubt. But shout out to the chat, man. Appreciate you guys jumping in with me. Shuttle, always a pleasure.
Yeah, we got them likes up. How we doing over there?
I don't know, but hit the like on the way out. You know what I mean? It's just one button. Just hit that button on the way out. I'll be back Monday. I might be back tonight with Sims. But yeah, man. Shout out to the chat, the replay gang. Let's go, man. Let's get this win on Sunday. I might be back Sunday night. Actually, no, I won't.
Who's pulling up to the game on Sunday? Who's pulling up to the game Sunday? Are you pulling up to the game Sunday? Not you, Tone.
I know. I wish I could though.
Who's pulling up to the game on Sunday? Even if Randall don't play, Devo will be playing. So, you know that should still be exciting enough. Yeah, man. Yeah, and we gotta get these away games. You know, these takeover, New York Knicks takeover. Travel games on the itinerary.
Philly, I really want to go to that first game in Boston, but it's too expensive because of the ring ceremony.
Too far and too expensive.
I mean, I don't care about the drive. It take me the same time it's like an hour more to get to the city for me than to get to Boston. So I'm trying to do Boston. I'm trying to do Philly. I'm trying to do Washington. And I might do a Cleveland.
Washington is December 28th, which
we got 2 games.
Yeah, back to back. But the Saturday the 28th looks like the best one. Because the other game is the 30th, which is the Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And you got New Year's, you're closer to
New Year. Yeah.
So Saturday the 28th, you might be able to stick and move. If you got to work on Monday, you know what I mean? You could still do the Saturday game and keep your regular life schedule.
No doubt. But yeah, we're gonna definitely hit some road games this year. A lot of watch parties this year. Similar announced all the home games.
The first Philly game is Tuesday, November 12th. So needless to say, Tuesday is tough. You know, if you gotta take a day off work to probably do that one. If you're out there, you got a job, you know what I mean? That's gonna be a tough one, but tickets are as low as $48 for that game. You understand?
That's why this road trip thing is gonna be great because it's gonna cost the same amount of money to get a hotel and go to some of these games than it would just to go to the Garden.
Yeah, and then you can be out of town supporting a team out of town, which is major.
For sure. But yeah, Shuttle, stay on. I want to talk to you, but I'm gonna get out of here. Shout out to the chat, man. Replay game. Hit the like button.
Real quick, Tone. Any New York fans in Florida, in Orlando, in Tampa, you know what I mean? Even if you're not a New York fan, but you're checking out the show, you know what I mean? Best out to you guys.
For sure. That joint look crazy. And back to back storm, back to back, you know what I mean? Hurricanes and yeah. Prayers out to them. This global warming thing is real. People act like it ain't, but we ain't never seen weather like this the past couple of years. What we've seen.
No, you don't see this every 100 years. Back to back storms like this, nah, serious business.
But yeah, we out of here. Shout out to the chat. Knicks and Bruises. Till next time, yo, we out.